Well, good morning, YouTube. Something very, very different. This could be the future. This could be what we all have to ride. It's a hybrid, HEV. So it's got a petrol engine, it's got an electric motor. So you can go in the congestion zones, ride round. When you speed up or you want to commute in and out of the big town, switch to petrol, away you go. How good's that? The first ever HEV two-wheel motorcycle from Kawasaki. The Ninja 7. If you're interested in seeing all about the Ninja 7, you stick around. As promised, the possible future. HEV, electric and petrol. Ignition on. Let's let it wind up. Let the good times roll. Okay. So we're in sport mode. Petrol. Into gear. Fully automatic. Here we go. So what do you think? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Silver grey, the old Kawasaki green logos everywhere. It's basically a Ninja 4. They call it the Ninja 7 because with the 450cc petrol engine and the EV motor, it gives it like a 700cc power. It's quite clever really, isn't it? It's quite small, quite a low seat. It's got sort of clip-ons but they're raised above. Here we go, let's have a look. As you know, I'm a big chap. 6'5", 16 stone, but here it is. So there you go. I'm back against the bump stops, quite roomy, forwards and backwards. Pegs are fairly high set. Typical sort of sports bikey feel, but I can get my knees in here. There's room under the tank to get my knees in. It's not too bad, it's fairly comfortable. I've had a bit of a ride round on it just to find out how all the modes and all everything works, and it's quite tricky when you first go on it, but you soon get used to it. It's quite intuitive. So what do you think? Shall we have a look round it and then we'll do the stats? Okay, so we'll have a look round. What do you think? Pretty conventional really, isn't it? The first thing that really shows that it's slightly different is just look at that swing arm. I'm not sure you can see. Can you see? It's quite a long swing arm. From the swing arm pivot point forwards, it's quite conventional. It's basically a 400 or 450. You come back and all of a sudden you've got this longer swinging arm. If you just look above the brake reservoir, there's like a little box. That's where the EV motor and battery and everything is. It's quite clever tech, this is. So you can either use it in petrol, full petrol. You can use it in eco, which has got like a start-stop. When you drop down to zero, it goes back into electric. Then as you speed up, the motor cuts in. Or you can put it in sport mode, which is full petrol for commuting on the motorways and whatever. I'm not sure it's like an electric mode yet. I've not tried it, but it's exciting, isn't it? Let's get the stats and have a bit of a talk about it, and then I'll show you the dashboard in a moment. Okay, so here we go. The brand new for 2024 Kawasaki Ninja 7 Hybrid, automatic. It's the second ever hybrid, you can call it a motorcycle. The first one was a three-wheel Piaggio. You can't really call it a bike. It was a scooter and it was three wheels. This is a two-wheel motorcycle. It's petrol, electric or both. It's got a conventional 451cc liquid-cooled parallel twin with an interior permanent magnet synchronous motor. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? It means it's an EV. So they call this the HEV. It does chuck out 68 brake horsepower and 32 foot-pound. It's basically a 6-speed manual, and when you're in electric mode, it uses the first 4 gears automatically. So it's like a 4-speed automatic. And then when you get up to speed and you knock it into full petrol, it's got a clutch-operated system gearbox. It's a little bit like a quick shifter, and it feels like a quick shifter when you do it. It's flappy paddles. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So fuel, we got 14 litres of fuel. So combined, petrol and electric gives us 233 mile range, which is ideal for commuting. A low 795 seat, and it weighs 227 kilos wet. Of course, it's got 2 engines as such, so it's going to be quite an heavy beast. Look at that front end. It's like an H2 from the front. Gorgeous, isn't it? So on the front here, we've got 41mm standard forks. On the rear, we've got a single monoshock. We've got twin 300mm discs with 2-piston badged Nissan calipers. We've got a typical 120/70/17 on the front and the Dunlop Sport Maxis. They're okay, they ain't a bad tyre, been around a while. Let's have a look at the back. On the rear, we've got a single 220mm disc with a single piston Nissan badged caliper. And we're running a 160/60/17. Like I say, Dunlop's Sport Maxis. They ain't a bad little tyre, to be fair, been around a bit. Cannon launcher, it's got a bit of a scratch on it already if you look. Not bad, let's just have a look at the back end. They keep it reasonable, don't they? It's not bad. There's the chain, long chain, look how long that chain is. Very long chain, that's because of the swing arm. We've got a TFT screen, we've got mode, Sport Eco, we've got manual or automatic. We've got Bluetooth connectivity through the dash with the Kawasaki app. We've also got this little button here. This is a boost button. Now this is where they say if you use the boost and the petrol together, it gives you the speed off the mark of a 1000cc sports bike. I don't know, we'll find out in a minute, won't we? You only get 5-second boost. Also got another clever little feature, a walk mode. When it's in electric, you push the throttle slide forward to go forwards and pull it back to go back. How good's that? That's quite clever, isn't it? Shall we have a look at the dash? Okay, so you thumb the start button. If you look, I'll just show you again. Can you see what's happening? It goes from motor. There it is. Now what we're going to do now is we're just going to push the flappy paddle, select first gear. Now you're in an EV motor, you twist and away you go. How about that? So now we're in EV mode. So by pressing the HEV EV, press and hold, changes to Eco. Now we're in Eco. So we press the flappy paddle for first gear and now we start to twist and we're away. Now, being as we're in this mode, what will happen is, as the bike gets up to about 1500 revs, it automatically starts the petrol. So it's a bit like a start-stop in a car. So you pull away in electric, and then off you go in full petrol mode. So I'll put it back in neutral. So you press and hold this again, and it goes to EV. Press and hold again, it goes to Eco. Press the Sport button. Goes to sport, and straight away you're in sport, the ignition starts. How clever is that? So you select a gear, as you see it's not moving, it's automatic. I just twist the throttle slightly and away it goes. How good's that? So I'm going to put it back in neutral, go back into Eco mode, go back into full electric mode. So it's stopped, and now I'm going to push the walk button. Press and hold the walk button. Here we go, we're in walk mode. So, of course, you need to be in a gear. Forward and reverse. So forward, pull the throttle back, push the throttle away from you, and it's reversing. How about this? It's pretty clever, isn't it? So we're going to press and hold that again. We go back into EV mode. So now we're in electric motor mode. How about that? Shall we give it a bit of a ride? What do you think of it all? It's a bit complicated, isn't it? Luckily, I come from a DCT, so I'm used to flappy paddles. There's no gear shift lever. None at all. So we're going to take it a ride as if we're going to commute. We're going to go to work, if you like. So I'm going to take a run up the lanes in petrol. And when I drop down into the town, I'm going to stick it into electric mode and see how we get on round the town in electric. I'm going to get my helmet on. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, YouTube, so here we are. We're in sport mode. I've selected first gear. So we're full petrol. We're going to work. The gearbox is quite smooth, but the actual flappy paddle actuator does feel like a slow quick shifter. As you can see, the dash is flashing because it needs me to change. So here's the flappy paddle. There we go, we're in. That was a nice change. So I'm going to block change down. 6th, 5th, 4th. There we are, we're in third gear, we're flashing. So I'm going to pull the throttle back. Did you feel that lag? There's just a slight lag. Now then, I'll slow down. So now you're in like Commuterville. So just give it, see a little tap there. When you're not using much revs, let's get back to third. When you're not using much revs, it's quite smooth, to be fair. So here we go, we're just approaching a bend. So I'm going to leave it in third. Just flappy paddle down to second. No brakes, no needed. So as we come out, nice and gentle on the throttle. So we're in fifth gear already. It's a bit like D on a DCT. It wants you to change up quite quickly. It doesn't want you to dwell in the gears. But it's okay. So here we go, let's test the brakes out. I feel quite sharp. As you can see, I'm coming down. I'm still in second gear. In fact, I'll show you, I'll stop. I'm in second gear, it's not going to start. It automatically went into one on its own. I didn't touch that. It's quite good, isn't it? Yeah, I think the quick shifter or the actuator is a bit slow. I'm not sure whether I like that, but it's okay, it works. As I say, if you come from a DCT background where you're used to a flappy paddle, it'll be no trouble at all. You do not need to use a foot operated gear lever. It's not necessary, it's not there, you don't need it. Anyway, we're going to come round the road. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around the corner and I'm going to put it in eco mode. Give us a chance to get rid of this car. So here we go, we're going to pull over. Right, so as soon as we put it into eco mode, it stalls. It's gone quiet. Beautiful, it is. So I'm just going to twist the throttle. Here we go. We're away. You don't even notice the gearbox coming in. It's fantastic, really. I've got to do a right turn here, but there's a tractor coming, so I'm going to the brakes on. It's automatically block changed down itself into first gear. I didn't do anything, and it's cut out. That's your start stop technology. So here we go again, just a little squeeze. It's good, isn't it, that? So we're coming along, we're in third gear, you forget all about it and you've got to stop for some reason. So you put the brakes on and you stop. It automatically changes down into first and kills the engine. I think that's brilliant. Stop technology. Let's do it again. So we're away. Into gear. Second. Third. Fourth. Something's in your way, you forget about it. You look around, you have a bit of a butcher's, bosh, bosh, bosh. All of a sudden you're back in first gear and it's stalled again. I think that's great. So we'll put it back in sport mode. So the You press it old sport, just press it hold it. So it's jumped into life now with a petrol engine again now. There's no electric. That's not bad, is it? I like the way it automatically block changes down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a brake test. Let's just get it going. Here we go. First, second, third, fourth gear. We're doing 40 mile an hour back brake. Okay, that's very green. There you go. Now, unlike the Honda, the 650 electric clutch, the Honda stays in the gear you're in. You have to rechange the gears. This automatically gets you back down to first gear, which I think is very good. Okay, so we're going to pull away again. Here we go. Wait till the road straightens out. There we go. Good vision. 40 mile an hour front brake. Now, I've got to say, those front brakes are tremendous. They are good. For a little bike, they really are good. So we'll come round the corner. It's a bit of a downhill stretch, but it'll do a good test. So we're coming downhill, 35, 40 mile an hour. We're going to do an emergency stop. Okay, the ABS was flicking in a little bit on the rear, but not much at all. Not bad. So I'll get to some better roads. Okay, so we're going to test this. Boost. Into gear, boost. I've got a laugh in my helmet. It's a different bike. It's a totally different bike. Well, as you've seen, we've just used the boost. It's pretty impressive. Shall we try it again? Here we go. We're in boost mode. The only trouble is 5 seconds is not a lot. But when you want to get off the mark quick, just push it in and away you go. When they say it gives you the acceleration of a 1000cc sports bike, no it doesn't. But it's probably a good 700cc. Yeah, pretty damned impressive. Anyway, I'm going to wait till we get to the town and we're going to stick it in electric mode. I'll see you in a minute. So there we are, we're in eco mode. So we're using a combination of petrol and electric. So you're coming down the hill, nice and economical, and you're thinking, I'm getting close to that congestion zone. Of course, petrol bikes are going to be banned completely in most big city centres. It's not far off now before diesels and petrol get banned. They're going to be outlawed. You're not going to be able to ride them in town centres because they're going to give you the old chestnut that it's going to be choking people, emissions, you name it, noise, whatever. We're going to need quiet motorcycles, quiet cars, electrically driven in the town. So this is where your hybrid comes in. So we're just going to slow down. I've got a car behind me. We're moving into a 20 zone. So all I did was I just pushed the HEV. Now we're on electric. It's changing gear automatic. I'm not touching the flappy paddle. It was about 20 mile an hour it dropped in. It's very weird. It's so quiet. It's got no power. Let's just slow down for this car. So as I say, this is your congestion buster. We've got a 10 mile range, I believe. Whether it'll get more, I don't know. I believe when you loose the throttle off, there is some regeneration. It's quite good, you know. I should imagine it had more power than that 50cc job I took out. Ooh. It had more power than that. I'd say this is probably like your 125 equivalent electric motor. because it's a centrally mounted one. They're always better than the hub mounted ones. Hub mounted motors don't seem to have the power that the centrally mounted ones do. Well, it's not bad, is it? Okay, we're not going to set the world on fire, but when you're in a 20 zone, when you are actually in a 20 zone, you're supposed to be doing 20. And when you're in a 30 zone, 30. So it's not like you're going to need loads of power. But I'm going to leave it in electric. And I'm going to go up the big hill and see what it's like. Okay, here we go. We're in full electric mode. Oh, that was a bit of an abrupt change. We're up to 31, 32, 34. So it's, like I say, it's around your 125. This is quite a steep hill and I'm very heavy. I've just switched it to EV. No. We're up to 40. So you're not really going to hold the traffic up 40 mile an hour up the hill. Anyway, it's quite smooth in electric mode. There we go, back up to fourth gear. So we've got a bit of a downhill stretch now. Oh, here we go. 44. 45. That's about it. So we're going to pull over here and we're going to knock it into sport mode. There we go. So we just pull up, press and hold sport. Straight up to national speeds, up to 60. That was without the boost. It's got a bit of everything for everyone. So, what is the elephant in the room? Well, what can you buy for 12 grand? You got to look at it from, like, on a tangent, from a parallel. You're not going to be able to buy a 12 grand motorcycle and ride it in a city soon. You'll be able to go round cities and from city to city, but you won't be able to go into the city. So you can get yourself V-Stroms, Hornets, Transalps, some of the CF Motos. They're all pretty cheap. So this is 12 grand, but it will allow you to go for a raz at the weekend with your mates. It will allow you to drive into any city centre on an electric motor. I think it's got a place. It's probably the future. It's got a place. Kawasaki they've gone for it, really. I think when the other big boys see it, especially being as they're all developing these automatic clutches, BMW automatic clutch, Honda automatic clutch, KTM, MV, you name it, automatic clutches. Even Yamaha have jumped onto the bandwagon of automatic clutches. I can see it's not going to be far away before someone else produces a hybrid. Now this is the first one. This is generation 1. I don't doubt Kawasaki will improve on generation 1 with generation 2 and 3 and 4 if they start to sell. I can honestly see people who live in and around big cities. If you lived Oxford, Bristol, Birmingham, London, this is pretty damn good. You don't have to worry about plugging it in to charge at work. You just drive it. The petrol will charge it up itself. Anyway, I'm going to say thanks very much to Mark, Liam and the gang down at Cornwall Kawasaki. It's a cracking little dealership. It's ever so friendly. Whenever you go there, there's always friends in there. It's got that vibe about it. So if you're looking for a Kawasaki and you live in Cornwall, pop and see the gang, they'll sort you out. Anyway, I'm having fun riding bikes as usual. If you've enjoyed this video, click on the like, subscribe, ring the bell. I'm only too pleased to answer questions. It's took me a while to get used to this. It's different. It's the way the transitions between the different systems of electric, hybrid, or just petrol. But I'm getting the hang of it, and I'm quite enjoying riding it. Anyway, we're nearly back, so I'm going to say, this is the Lofty Biker saying, ta-ra for now. Ta-ra.